Racing to the 2022 Kentucky Derby, and this time we take a look back at the Run for the Roses 2022, and the winner of the 2022 on your bingo cards was number 21, Rich Strike, the big strapping son of Keen Ice, claimed out of a maiden claiming $30,000 race. Of course, he won that race at Churchill Downs beneath the Twin Spires. He won by 17 lengths. And Calumet Farm bred this son of Keen Ice, Rich Strike, the 2022 Kentucky Derby winner. Let's take a look at the connections. Eric Reed, the trainer, one Grade 1 now win in his career, picked it up in the Kentucky Derby, $1.8 million in purse earnings, $24 million in career earnings now. Of course, the bulk of them coming on the strength of Rich Strike's win in the 2022 Kentucky Derby. Sonny Leone wins his first Kentucky Derby, first Grade 1 stakes win, $15 million in career earnings, and gets the big prize on the 80-to-1 shot in the 2022 Kentucky Derby. The story of this race was the fast pace, the fastest quarter mile in Kentucky Derby history. At that point, you knew it was going to set up for a closer, but you had horses like Mo Donegal, Zandon, and a few other horses that you thought maybe could take advantage of it. Rich Strike didn't even get into the race until Ethereal Road officially scratched on Friday, and of course Rich Strike got in as number 21, was 100-to-1 most of the day, ended up with a little more than 80-to-1 odds in winning the Kentucky Derby. Let's take a look at how this race played out. If you notice here at the start, it was a pretty clean break. Summer is Tomorrow took the lead on the inside. Epicenter broke clean, and really from the screenshot you can see most of the horses broke cleanly. Rich Strike on the outside with the red cap, and even he was able to break clear. Nobody really jostled him around, and the key decision here by Sonny Leone was to go inside immediately, and not even an eighth of a mile into the race. When you look at this next shot here, Rich Strike had already secured an inside position, but he didn't actually go down to the rail. He kind of made a smart move here, stayed a little bit outside, and that allowed him to kind of see how the pace was going to flow, see where some of the horses were going to tuck in. At this point, Mo Donegal's on the inside, and you got Zandon securing a good position with the white cap and the blue shirt, but still on the lead is Summer is Tomorrow, and Messier was up chasing that pace. So was the Japan-bred Crown Pride. So anybody near that opening pace pretty much was going to be done in at this point. Now, then you move on. Coming into the turn, 3 furlongs, 110 and 2, very fast pace this would be. And of course 21 is in right around 15th, 16th place, but if you notice, he's kind of getting in a little bit of trouble here. He's got horses on the inside of him, he's got a few horses on the outside of him. Simplification is just to his outside, and White Abario with a really wide trip out there, kind of in no man's land. Mo Donegal right behind Rich Strike, and still on the lead is Messier and Crown Pride, but those are extremely fast fractions. So anybody watching this race live knew that those front runners, especially Messier and Crown Pride, were definitely going to be in trouble. Epicenter sitting in a perfect spot, sitting in third, just inside of another horse there, and he's in the maroon and with the white cap. Now overall, you take a look at this trip, uneventful trip except for that checking on the turn, and then down the lane he ended up coming inside of Epicenter. Epicenter was battling with Zandon, and Zandon looked like he was going to pass him. He saved a lot of ground in the race, Zandon did, but overall Epicenter put away Zandon, and then I think right at the end Epicenter kind of noticed that Rich Strike was coming up the inside, but Rich Strike had all of the momentum and he was able to power away to the victory. Mo Donegal was closing a little bit late. Simplification was closing late. So those were horses that also took advantage of that fast pace. The horses that were up on the pace, you had Crown Pride finishing further back. You had a horse like Summer is Tomorrow literally finishing dead last in that race. With that fast of a pace, you really couldn't help that. And then, you know, some of the other horses, question marks, just lightly raced horses overall didn't seem to do well. We'll talk more about that, but your Charge It and Taba and some of those other horses, with a fast pace like that and a full field, it was just a little bit too much for them. And some of them got a little bit of a tricky trip into that turn. But overall, you know, Ethereal Road was listed as number 20, and when they initially put out the field, they didn't even list the two also eligibles in Rich Strike and Rattle and Roll. So a lot of people hadn't really handicapped this horse. When we did our horse-by-horse preview on Tuesday night, Rich Strike wasn't even in the race officially yet, and there was really no indication that nobody was going to come out. Now, the final odds showed Epicenter as the favorite, a little over 4-1. Taba at 5-1, he got a lot of play. Messier was bet down 6-1. Zandon at 7-1, and then Mo Donegal. Really, those were the favorites. Zandon ended up running third, and Epicenter ended up running second. Epicenter was close to the pace, had a good trip, saved ground, battled with Zandon, put him away, and Epicenter, I think a lot of people are going to think he maybe ran the best race. I thought Zandon ran a good race as well. Mo Donegal had a little bit of trouble, lost a lot of ground, was closing a little bit late. Simplification kind of continues to outrun his odds for a 40-1 shot. He was right there and really within striking range of the top three coming into the stretch. Now, the Beyer boys have spoken. Speed figures are out. Rich Strike with a Beyer speed figure of 101. It's the same Beyer speed figure as Mandaloon last year in 2021. Authentic had a 105, but that was in September, so a little bit more maturity. And then you had Country House with a 99, Justify with a 103. With the fast pace, the final time was 2:02 and change, but you had the fast pace, the fastest opening quarter, a fast 3 quarters, 1:10 and 2. On the Equibase scale, right there with an average win, same as Country House, 1 point lower, and then a little bit faster than Always Dreaming. Now, some of those were on a sloppy track. Always Dreaming and Justify were a sloppy track. So the last 3 races, we've had fast race tracks. Authentic, a 116, Medina Spirit, a 111, and Rich Strike, a 106. The Curse of Apollo horses, they did not do well in this race. Charge It, Taba, Zozos, and Happy Jack, none of them able to pick up the win. Now 1 for 71 for the Curse of Apollo with no starts as a 2-year-old. And the Curse of Leonidas trying to win the Derby on his 3rd lifetime start. Taba, he was not able to do that. The only horse to do that was Leonidas in 1883. So again, Rich Strike had some starts. He'd ran at Turfway Park. Synthetic to Dirt Move, I also think that's a positive factor. But then you also had the same horse doing that with Tis the Bomb, and he wasn't able to replicate that form. Rich Strike did have a little bit of some stamina influences in his pedigree. Calumet Farm does breed some of those horses with some turf influences and some distance influences. 2nd lifetime win in the Kentucky Derby for Rich Strike. He had the maiden win at Churchill Downs, a big win in that race. Preakness stakes are starting to line up. I think we're going to get probably 9-10 horse field. We've got Epicenter most likely. Rich Strike looks like they're going to head there. Secret Oath, the winner of the Oaks. And then Rattle and Roll and Joe, the local horse, going to be trying the Preakness stakes as well. More to come. We're going to be doing a horse-by-horse preview next week after the post positions are drawn. And more to come as we get you ready for the 2022 Preakness stakes. Rich Strike, the winner of the 2022 Kentucky Derby.